Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tech Champions. I'm your host, Daniel Beaty, CTO with AuditMax in Jacksonville, Florida. As you know, we take time each week to sit down with thought leaders and industry experts and get their thoughts and perspectives on the latest trends in the industry. We always have amazing guests on the show, and today's no exception. So joining us from Woodland Park, New Jersey is Jesse Fasolo. Jesse, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Glad you could make it on. So I know you went to Michigan State and you work with St. Joseph's Health there in New Jersey, and you're the Director of Infrastructure and Cybersecurity. So if you would, tell us a little bit about your personal journey to this point.
Absolutely. So I've been in technology for about 20 years, mainly working myself through engineering roles, very technical roles, to management and leadership positions where I really found a love to manage and develop others, and hence the leadership and management degree I got from Michigan State. Um, in addition to that, I think success is driven by leadership capabilities, and I really hone in on that and try to develop my teams and develop everyone around me. But mainly, I love technology. It was very difficult for me to give up the technical aspects to be more of a manager and leader. And again, I think passion is something that I have for technology and helping others. So I love pretty much all the industries I've worked in. I've been through 7 different industries, and along the way, I've brought a different aspect, a different perspective, different types of technologies. And to this point, now I lead multiple teams, technical teams, cybersecurity teams, telecommunications teams, really delivering the best service that we can.
Yeah, that's great. And I also love the mission of St. Joseph's Health, and specifically how they try to work to serve the poor and the underserved. So that's near and dear to my heart. That's great. Love to see that there as well. So I know one of your passions is leadership, and specifically IT leadership. And in this, especially this year in 2020, I think one issue that has come up with our teams out there has been the issue of motivation. And our interactions are just very different from what they used to be. People are working from home. Everybody has a little bit different environment. What advice would you give to an IT leader that's trying to promote engagement and motivation on their teams?
I think it's a really important question nowadays, right? So you hit the nail on the head. We're all working remote. It's all different. It's all new for many of us. There's been industries that have never decided to work from home, and now they're thrust to work from home. Along with that is management that's never had the capability or knowledge to do so, right? To manage and lead others that are remote, not in front of them. So I think the biggest areas for me is empathy for leadership, to understand that everyone on your team is going through something different, and they need other different things than others. So you really need to engage and motivate to enable them to learn and develop and grow as this weird environment we are in now that everyone's remote. I think curiosity and autonomy too. I think providing the teams the ability to learn things and grow and do things without being on top of them, right? So we tend to micromanage when we're not in front of things or can't see things. We want to know, give us updates, give us statuses. I think also meetings. We're so accustomed to having hour-long meetings, very big departmental meetings, where now in the environment that we're in, we really need to focus on quick, right? 15-minute connections with people, and then having stand-ups or having team meetings where everyone has the ability to speak up and actually contribute and participate. I think that participation really drives motivation, right? Without people being engaged in what they're doing, there's no excitement. They kind of just become task workers, and anyone that just is familiar with just doing a task day in and day out, they kind of get bored and they become disengaged. So it gets them excited. Large projects now, being remote, need to have more care. They need to be broken up into smaller components and smaller parts. And I think the success of those little wins, when you break them up, builds confidence in everyone in the team. And it kind of steamrolls, right? As you build confidence in the team becomes more proactive and more motivated, and then overall the team and or the department is more successful, whether it be projects or whether it be just individual tasks or ad hoc items that they're working on. And then leveraging technology. I think technology nowadays, a lot of people didn't have the preparation before COVID happened, but now they do. Now they have, virtual capabilities. They have instant messaging. They have team organization websites. They have tools at their disposal. I think leveraging those tools is vital. Without being quick in communications and understanding where your teams are and what they're doing, and then being there and being available too. I think I've been more available and more reachable than if they were on site, and it's been very good. And I think those development areas for any leader, any manager would help them build a better team at this time and really lead and engage those individuals.
Yeah, I think that's great. You make a great point, and we can actually, if we leverage that technology, we can actually become more available than we were before. So that's great. And I talked to a lot of leaders in IT, and a fair number of them were pretty concerned at the beginning of the pandemic about people working from home and what the productivity was going to be like and things like that. And now that we're several months in, I'm hearing more and more often, Jesse, that people are actually more productive. Like the productivity has not dropped, which is great news. So it can be done. We've at least proved that, right? So that's good.
Yeah, and I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say just to that point that a lot of people want this to be successful, right? They don't want to be
Yeah,
seen as not productive in this time we're in. Again, organizations are just coming around the corner for having remote capabilities. Everyone's really putting in their worth and putting in the effort to make it successful. So I have to say, for my staff that I manage, they're really doing everything they can to make sure it's successful.
yeah, that's great. That's great. And you also talk about how IT leaders need a partnership mentality. Can you talk about what that means?
Yeah, partnership mentality. Again, it means different things to other folks. For me specifically, partnership mentality is really partnering with not only your core team, your individuals that you manage or supervise, but also across different areas, departments, areas which were normally siloed before. So for me, partnership mentality, I try to change my perspective and not just treat my team, my department, my area, but look at it as a service, and the department delivers a service. So if I can partner with all my peers and my subordinates can partner with all their peers, now we're in a big unit that can provide a better service. And then if you think bigger and globally for the organization, if we all have the same mentality that we're all working towards the same goal and leadership is also behind that, then partnership mentality for me brings along success in all areas. So it, in turn, turns the business more success overall. So partnership also mentality, people forget this too. But partnership is internal, right? Like I just mentioned, but also external, where people need to leverage their partners, especially in a time where we are now, where sometimes you don't have the people on site or you don't have the capabilities to deliver certain services. And I've had a track record of dealing and working with my vendors, my MSPs, my partners to the nature where I treat them as though they're my extension. I treat them as if they're my employees. I treat them because at the end of the day, it's not a matter of the partner delivering a service or the vendor delivering the service. It's really the IT organization delivering quality product, and it doesn't matter who your vendor is. But I treat them all as partners, and I look at it from a different viewpoint where we are delivering a service, and everyone needs to be kind of on the same boat delivering that service. So that's really what
Yeah.
partnership mentality meant.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I love that concept. And it's really IT kind of taking the blinders off and understanding what the needs of the business are, and then shifting and adjusting according to that. Now let's change gears for just a minute. I wanted you to talk about a project that you and I spoke of, which I found very interesting. It was actually a redundant storage solution that you had put together. I know it took quite some time to do that, and it had a recovery time of zero or near zero, which is obviously a fantastic goal. Um, But can you talk a little bit about that project specifically and how you walked through that decision?
Yeah, so every organization I've been to and had the pleasure of working with, I've always had a knack for coming in and trying to determine what the pain points are. With this organization, St. Joe's, I came in and a lot of the technologies were legacy, and it was at a detriment to the performance and the productivity and the efficiency for many of the systems as well as the workflows that they have here. Ultimately, trying to service and provide care to patients. So, what I did here was really look at all the areas of opportunity to grow and build along a roadmap. So, I think this storage platform that we chose and the partner we chose really brought the technology that allowed us to deliver, like you mentioned, a goal of an RPO and RTO of zero. So pure storage technology really allowed for us to have a geo redundant solution where if one storage array in one data center had failed within an instant with no downtime whatsoever, all of that service is running in another geolocation. So again, that's how we delivered real time, disaster recovery and resiliency. And I think that you mentioned it before. Really, where we are now, technology is advancing so much so fast. We have to look at disaster recovery and business continuity and plan for that in the roadmap of the technology solutions we choose. So again, this storage project that we did was it didn't take too much time to implement, believe it or not, but the planning that went into it was almost a year and a half to 2 years to do vendor selection, to do performance analysis, to do proof of concept work, and again, to partner. I think choosing the right partner to deliver a product and be there for you through the implementation and then post, and then really continue that relationship is really important. And again, the success of this project, my teams as well as the vendors, we all came together, and the hospital system is really benefiting from not only having brand new hardware and cutting edge technology, but it allows us to service the patient faster than ever before. Where you in healthcare you count the matter of clicks that it would take in the time between those clicks that you're trying to get through an application and deliver service to a patient, where now it's 10 times, sometimes 60 times faster than it was before.
Wow, that's great. That's great. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? Is serving the patient, doing that faster and quicker and more efficiently. So that's great. I really appreciate you sharing about that project, and no doubt you're the envy of quite a few of our viewers right now that you've got that implemented. Um, and we're going to wrap up, but I want to ask you one final question. We are tech champions after all, and we like to ask each of our guests, what's one characteristic that it takes to become a tech champion?
Well, I said in the beginning, I think passion. I think passion for what you do is paramount. If you don't have passion for what you do, then your day to day becomes a grind, and you really lose interest. You lose your motivation. You lose your creativity and curiosity in the environment around you and the people around you. As a tech champion, I would say uh, having passion and building passion in yourself comes a long way. You can learn things, watch videos, and take education training and development courses, but you really need passion to be able to even do that. And what I find is everyone around you, if you have the passion to do it yourself and help yourself and help others, others will be on board, and that passion will really drive the business as well as some other future engagements and future initiatives.
All right. Passion. I love it. I think that's a great one. Thank you, Jesse. And thanks for being on the show. We really appreciate it. It's been very insightful. And to our viewing audience, if you want to connect with Jesse, you can do that on LinkedIn, or you can find me on LinkedIn as well. Feel free to send either of us a message if you want to learn more about what we've talked about today. Thank you again, Jesse, for being on the show. And thanks for joining Tech Champions, and we'll see you next time.